Guys, I'm official. On one end, we broke 1,000 subscribers, so cheers to that. And number two, your girl got a mic. So we're official and we're so excited. All that to say, today's topic that we're gonna be going through. So prospecting is going out as a hunter does to go find food. And in this case, to find new logos and new revenue for whoever you're employed to. For a BDR, prospecting effectively fuels the ability to hit your quota on a consistent basis. And that's why today's topic, arguably, is more important than cold calling, more important than emails, more important than LinkedIn strategies and social selling. Because if you're calling, if you're emailing, if you're just reaching out to everybody and it's the wrong individuals for a company, maybe the company that you're chasing after might be just like a big logo and you're just like, man, if I land this company, it's gonna make me stand out. But there might not be a product market fit that even meets the needs of what you're selling and the people that you're, supporting. And so that being said, prospecting is really important because you want to make sure that all the touch points that you're doing within your day-to-day are going towards the right people and the right accounts. Today, we're going to go through and identify what is a good strategy to start off with. And again, there's plenty, but this is just one that I've seen work really well. I'm going to pretend that in this example, I'm a BDR, and at the company that I work at, I've got 250 accounts within my account book that I can go through and start prospecting into. We're gonna say that I'm gonna be targeting enterprise size accounts that range from employee counts of 1,000 to 5,000 employees. My job is to assess these 250 accounts that I wanna go after over a course of, we'll say 6 months. And I'm gonna go through and try to see, okay, what is the fastest route that I can take and organize and prioritize these 250 accounts? I could still try to effectively try to touch all of these over the course of the next 6, 9 to if not 12 months over the course of the year to try to land the meetings that I need to hit the quota that I need on a month-to-month basis. And we're gonna say that my quota per month is to land 7 qualified meetings, meaning I'm going to, through my outreach, land 7 meetings that I'm going to hand off to my account executive that I've deemed as these are great opportunities, great meetings that I think you should take because I think there's something for you that allows you to take that meeting and run with it to hopefully be able to close over the next 2 to 3 months, if not over the course of the year. I would recommend taking that list of 250 accounts and popping them. If you have this available in your CRM, fantastic. Some folks or some companies don't have this accessible, so you might want to populate that list into an Excel or a Google Sheet just to have all of them listed so you know which are the accounts that I have at my disposal to start planning. So I'd probably start off with assessing what is the size of all of these companies, prioritize them based off of annual revenue and employee counts. So we can just start off there. So I'd pop my entire list of accounts into a Google spreadsheet, and I would prioritize based off of revenue and based off employee count to start, just to see what are the whales that I've got within my book of business. So then from there, I would assess, okay, these are the biggest accounts that I've got, meaning they're probably gonna be the longest deal cycles, the longest amount of outreach that it's going to take to break into these accounts due to the size of them. So I'll mark these as perhaps my whale accounts. Next, I'm going to try to identify, okay, within the 250 accounts that I've got, which are like my in the middle accounts. Maybe those are like the sweet spot accounts, that they're not too big, they're not too small, they're just right. Perhaps these are like your Goldilocks accounts. And then from there, from the 250 minus the whales, minus your Goldilocks accounts, perhaps you're left with just the leftover accounts, the relatively smaller accounts that are still in your patch of accounts that are, could be potentially low-hanging fruit, and I'll talk about why here in a second. All right, at this point now you've prioritized your A, B, and C accounts, your whales, Goldilocks, and your leftover accounts. By the way, don't skimp out on prioritizing and spending some time on a month-to-month basis on your leftovers. Why? Well, research shows that a lot of the times these leftover accounts might be the smaller accounts in your account book, but those are the ones that a lot of sales reps don't chase after, meaning these accounts might need your product or your service. They might not be getting reached out to by salespeople because they're not showing up as high intent or landing on your website. And because of that, a lot of reps kind of forget some of these accounts. So that being said, I love chasing after a lot of these accounts because 9 times out of 10, you're one of the few reps that's actually trying to start a partnership or a relationship with them. So they might be a little bit more open-minded to meeting with you. Where do you start? Right? You've got 250 accounts in your account book and you're like, oh my gosh, this is slightly overwhelming. So where I'd first start is low-hanging fruit, right? I would go through and I would identify, okay, out of all 250 accounts, which of these have closed, lost opportunities attached to them, right? And you might find that there might be 50 to 60 accounts that have had opportunities, meaning we've had open conversations over the last couple of years that we've engaged in, and we might have been in a deal cycle with some of these accounts that you're wanting to chase after, but maybe at the time it just wasn't the right fit and they went with another provider or they stayed with their existing provider. So where do I start next if I don't have a lot of closed, lost opportunities? Then I would prioritize industries that you've had the best success in. So for example, maybe your company has had excellent success in the retail space or excellent success in the SaaS space. You might want to look at what industries are aligned to each of these accounts, and I might even organize that as a separate column that you look at consistently, because maybe you want to prioritize and map out, okay, this season, maybe manufacturing is hot during Q4 and Q1. Maybe retail is hot also in Q4 and Q1. Maybe education is another industry that your company prioritizes. And you know, during the summertime is probably not the best time to get a hold of them just because a lot of folks are out on summer break. So you might want to prioritize them Q2 or maybe Q3 or Q4. So seasonality is something else that you can look into when it comes to your entire list of accounts. All right, another pool for low-hanging fruit is account-based marketing. So maybe marketing has set aside a pool of accounts for you, and these accounts are mapped to you and your account executive, of course. And these accounts have been visiting your website a lot lately. Maybe they've been visiting the pricing page. Maybe they've been downloading trials. Maybe they're downloading resources or case studies. So this is, again, another pool of accounts that might be actively evaluating their current software or product. So let's say that we wanted to go through and over the course of a year, attack each of these 250 accounts that you've got in a timely manner, looking at it from a 12-month timeline. We're going to use the example of 250 accounts. We're going to say 50 are whale accounts. 150 are right in the middle, the sweet spot, the Goldilocks. And then the last 50 are relatively small, the leftover accounts. We're going to look at it from a quarterly perspective, monthly, and then weekly perspective as we break this down together. So from a quarterly perspective, those 50 accounts breaks down to about 12-ish accounts per quarter, which would break down to about 4 whale accounts per month, breaks down to about 1 per week. Next is the Goldilocks pool of accounts. That breaks down to about 37 per quarter, 12 per month, about 3 per week that you're chasing. And lastly, the leftovers. I just had some leftover pizza 2 seconds ago that I accidentally caught on camera, which was fantastic. So the leftovers are also awesome. And you're gonna be doing about 12 again per quarter, 4 per month, and about 1 per week. Now, I love how the math breaks down really well here, because if we do that, that means that from a week-to-week basis, your weekly priority list is going to consist of a magic 5. So 5 accounts, 1 that's a whale, 3 that are like in that middle bucket, and then one that's going to be more so a leftover account. That's your quarterly, that's your monthly, and that's your weekly target that you're going to be chasing after. Again, I always like to start off the entire year with like an overall great plan. We might be starting in the middle of the year or at the end of the year. Again, a strategy like this, you can still kind of mold to fit whatever time you might be starting. And that, my friends, is the strategy. We just planned it out completely for the course of the year. And now you should know exactly what your account book should look like, why you're chasing after some of these accounts, why they're considered an A, B, or C target for you. Now you've got the entire plan. Now it's game time. Now it's execution time. So, oh, that was so gentle. All right, these are my friends, and they all agree that if you really like today's video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. River even says, make sure you leave a like. If you like today's content, follow for some more business development tips. I'll catch you next time.